Today we are gonna find out what a chef can do with fish heads and not the fillets. So any fish we get today, we're using just the head and collars and no fillets. Oh!
Hey!
Oh, good one?
Yeah, I might use that.
Okay. We're gonna put this down. Jake's on. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's a nice fish. Don't horse him. Nice and easy, dude. That's a big one.
Yeah! That is a huge fish!
That's a monster.
That's a monster.
That is a monster. All right, I'm not gonna hold mine next to yours. So as I was saying, we're just using heads and collars. So I'm kind of psyched that Jake just got that because that's a really nice head off of that fish. But these guys, they're like grouper. They got a lot of fat, a lot of gelatin inside the head, and the meat, it can hold up to a lot, so you can do a lot with it. It's very, very versatile. Not just soups, not just stocks and things like that. Yeah, don't hold them together. What are you trying to do to me?
Beautiful.
Great fish, Jake. Nice.
Thanks, bro.
For anyone new to the channel, one of my favorite things to do is use the scraps of fish. There's a ton of meat in the head, there's a ton of meat in that collar, and there's a little bit of meat in the cheeks here, and that's what we're gonna utilize. We're also gonna utilize the entire spine here. We have made tamales, burritos, tacos, pasta, lasagna, dumplings. It's endless. Certain dishes, we're using the fillet and chopping the fillet up would actually be disrespect to the fillet. So why not utilize this meat? And especially on a day like we had where these were the only 2 fish landed, you need to stretch your catch. So that I'm left with just this. And I went ahead, I cleaned out the gills, I cleaned out all of the innards and everything. So all we're left with is just a nice clean head. I have a pot of water here heating up, and we're gonna steam these for about 10 minutes. Now these racks, we're actually gonna use for something else. So we're gonna keep these aside. We're not gonna salt these guys or anything. We're just gonna put them in, put the lid on, and give it about 10 minutes. So I haven't even told you what we're making yet, which is stuffed cabbage. My grandmother used to make it, and traditionally it's made with rice and pork or beef, and then the cabbage is stuffed and it's cooked in a tomato sauce. Today we're going to substitute the pork and beef with the fish heads. I got my cabbage here. Now you have to cook this down for like 10 minutes in water, but what I want to do to impart even more flavor, we're going to put our blackfish racks inside with our head of cabbage. Put enough water to cover. And we're gonna add a bit of sea salt to season. We're gonna bring this up to a simmer, never a boil, and let it cook for about 10 minutes to get those leaves nice and soft. We're going to pull our heads, and even if they're not totally cooked through, that's okay, because we're gonna be re-cooking them inside the cabbage. But I have a feeling these guys are just cooked through, looking good. Let that cool down, and then we will pick it in a little bit. Now we're gonna make our tomato sauce that the stuffed cabbage is going to cook in. Now stuffed cabbage is pretty funny in Polish and Russian households. It's gonna be a lot like lasagna in Italian and Sicilian households, where if you take 10 different grandmothers, there's going to be 10 different recipes, and they're all going to be based in the same kind of idea, but the little nuances are all going to be different. So I am making a sauce that would be something similar to what my grandmother would have made. So we're going to start with half of a Spanish onion, and we're going to chop that up nice and fine. And then I have just beyond me a saucepan on low heat with a little bit of olive oil in it. So we're going to add the onions to that. Then we're going to do 2 cloves of garlic. This is going into the same pot with our onions. Now these we don't want to take on too much color. We're just sweating them down. What helps in the process is a little bit of salt. I have here garlic salt. So we'll give that a minute until they become translucent. Now that those are sweat down, we're gonna add crushed tomatoes. To that, we're gonna add a little bit of red wine vinegar, the juice of a lemon. I think we'll only do about half. That was pretty juicy. And then about a tablespoon of brown sugar. And that is what is going to give this sauce its very, very distinct flavor. So all we want is everything to marry in there. We don't need to cook this down or heat it up anymore. We just want that sugar to dissolve and for all of our flavors to get acquainted with each other. I'm gonna go a little bit of cracked black pepper. And that is our sauce. We're gonna put that aside and get our filling ready. So what I have here, I cooked off earlier. This is farro. Farro is a lot like barley. And you could use rice, brown rice, white rice. Sometimes they even use oats, but I wanted to go a little bit healthy, a little more hearty, and use the farro. But look at that. Big old juicy cheek. So we're gonna mix that in with our barley, and along the top here are usually two nice pieces. But you see how much fat? Now, other fish don't have this much fat in their head and gelatin and everything like that. So some fish might not be good for this recipe because we are going to be cooking it twice, and we are going to add this gelatin into our mix to keep our fish nice and moist during the cooking process. Those cheeks are insane. All that meat up behind the eye. Incredible. Even off of this small of a fish, all of this meat inside the collar. And then we're going to pick the meat off of the ribs. So even that little bit that would have been just discarded away, thinking, oh, we cut the ribs off, there's not that much on there. Well, let me show you. There sure is. I'm amazed every time that I do this with how much meat comes off. So if this doesn't blow your mind, I don't know what will. How much meat we have here. And again, we're just trying to stretch the catch. We're not trying to put a fillet on a plate or anything like that. We're just trying to create a meal using what little fish we had. To this, I'm going to add a chopped up shallot. I use the bigger of the two and use the whole thing. Okay, we're gonna add that whole shallot in. Now to this, we're gonna add 2 beaten eggs. The other half of that lemon. Some cracked black pepper for seasoning. And some celery salt. Because remember, we didn't salt the fish at all. Take our hand and mix this up. And I want to break up that fish. All the little pieces. It's also a good way to check if there's any bones in there. Now to stretch this even further, you could add breadcrumbs. I've done that in the past. Essentially, you're making the equivalent, think of it like a meatloaf kind of stuffing, where you put rice and the meat and then stretch it out with as much things as you can. And now we have our big old head of cabbage. So we're just gonna cut the heart out there so that we can get each leaf off. There you go. I'm gonna roll one to show you, and then I'm gonna get moving on this so that I can get them all done. Depending, I let that go for a little while, so that stalk there is pretty cooked through, and these are going to go in again. You could do them as soft or as crunchy as you want to add a little bit of texture there. So a good amount of our filling. We should probably get maybe about a dozen of these, depending how much we stuff them. We'll see how this one goes. But just like a burrito, do one roll over, tuck in the sides, and roll through. And there's our stuffed cabbage. All right, I'm gonna roll the rest of this, and then I'll show you how we put them in a pan. So another thing is, you get further down the leaves, it's also good to have your pot of water still going for the cabbage, because as you peel off layers, as you get further down, they're gonna be less and less cooked. So this one I'm actually gonna take the stem out of, and I also pack them pretty big. I want them to be nice and substantial instead of a few smaller ones. So I got 5. Okay, now we're ready to pack them into a pan. We are going to put a layer of our sauce down, cover the bottom of the pan here, and then we're going to pack these in nice and tight. Just squeaked by there. Cover that with our sauce, and then this is going into the fridge. A lot of people will leave their stuffed cabbage in the fridge overnight to really let them set up. We're just going to give them a couple of hours. All right, I will see you when this is ready to go into the oven. So I let these guys cook for 10 minutes, and then we threw some foil on, and now we're gonna let them cook another 20 minutes. All right, we're gonna let this sit for about 15 minutes. Does look good. All right, guys. There's our fish head stuffed cabbage. Let's eat. So you have a fish stuffed cabbage.
Fish stuffed cabbage.
Fish stuffed cabbage. We're doing Johnny Carson routine.
Okay. What kind of fish?
Blackfish. Tog. So if you don't know, this is my mother, Mama Clams.
I have to say that the only stuffed cabbage I've ever had was what my mother made, and that was stuffed with chopped meat. And
Grandma Sophie made it too.
and Grandma Sophie. Yeah, my mother-in-law.
Yeah.
So this is a first for me. Is it a first for you too?
I've made it once before.
Okay.
Ooh. Let me show you that. That looks pretty good. So yeah, traditionally it would be pork or
Yeah.
beef. So we went with fish head to show people what they could do with some discarded parts.
I think I have to make a smaller piece here. I'm letting my hunger dictate my culinary skills here. I think I like the stuffed fish with the cabbage better than the meat.
Hey.
Yeah. Now you've got rice in here too? No, what is that?
It's farro, so it's kind of like
Okay.
It's like barley.
Okay.
So the same. It's a grain. Normally it would be rice. Yeah.
It's very good. Is there another type of fish that you would use with this that might give it more oomph?
I mean, if you're looking for a fish flavor, you could do bluefish. You could do salmon heads. You could do anything, but something oily with a bit of fat, because otherwise it would dry out. Yeah.
The sauce is very nice. It doesn't take away from the flavor of the fish.
Of the fish,
It's
no.
Good. Very nice.
All right. I think I did Grandma Sophie proud then. I'm very happy with this, and if you're enjoying it, just know you have 3 more giant
And they'll go down easy.
little cabbage burritos.
Yeah.
Okay. If we're gonna get into some facts here, really what you're looking at, a lot of food in different cultures is born out of poverty, of what you can make, how you can stretch the meat.
Yeah.
So that's why it was a lot of breadcrumbs rolled in the cabbage leaves with rice, and it was usually later on in life people were able to do a 1-to-1 ratio, but it was the rice was cheaper, so you had less meat, more rice. And it was just to stretch the budget to feed a family of 5. And, had all those guys come over for dinner tonight, I could have fed the 3 of them, you and me.
Yeah.
So it's just proof that nothing should go to waste. You should use every part of the fish has value, and not just stocks and soups. That you can make really delicious food out of that meat that's in the collars and the heads.
Is this from the fish that was staring at me when I opened the refrigerator this morning?
Yes.
Yeah. Surprised.
Do you feel a bond with that? Well, thanks for coming along on this adventure, guys, and I will see you on the next one.
No, it's delicious.